Hi, I'm Loretta of Loretta Makes a Million. I'm the one taking a challenge to make $1 million in profit from trading options over the next number of years. Today you are watching video number 4, Option Basics Short Puts. You should have already watched the Option Basics videos 1, 2, and 3. Before we get started, I want everyone to understand that this video is for educational purposes only. I am not a registered investment advisor. I am not offering investment advice. Please be aware that there is risk and potential losses associated with options trading. If you're watching this video on YouTube, then come to my website, lorettamakes-a-million.com. There you can sign up for my free newsletter to stay up to date on my trades, helpful hints exclusively on my site, and other exciting information. In this video, we will review what is an option contract, and we will review what is a put option. Then we'll discuss what does it mean to be short the put option, and we will take a look at a profit and loss chart for a short put. Let's begin. What is an option contract? An option contract is an agreement between a buyer and a seller that gives the buyer of the option the right, not the obligation, to buy or sell an underlying at an agreed upon price by a set date. What is a put option? A put option gives the buyer the right, not the obligation, to sell an underlying at an agreed upon price by a set date. Sellers of puts have the obligation to sell an underlying at an agreed upon price by a set date if the option is exercised. Sellers of puts want the price of the underlying to go up or stay flat. The seller of a put option is said to be short the put. I'm going to use an example of insuring a house to help demonstrate a short put and why you might sell one. Let us say that you are an insurance company. You think that the housing market is going to go up in the next couple of months. You sell insurance to a homeowner who has their home on the market for $100,000 and is worried that the value of their home will drop in the next couple of months. You, the insurance company, sell the homeowner a $5,000 insurance policy that gives them the right to sell the home for $100,000 within the next 90 days. The premium is a $5,000 credit. The strike price is $100,000. The days until expiration are 90. The underlying is the house. You, the insurance company, want the housing market to go up so that you can keep the premium. For example, 90 days from now, the house is worth $150,000. The insurance policy will expire, and you will keep the $5,000 credit. The owner of the home will not sell you the home for $100,000 if it is worth $150,000. Sellers of puts want the price of the underlying to go up so that they can keep the premium. For example, on October 20th, 2014, Google is trading at $510. You think the price of Google will increase over the next couple of months. You sell one contract of the December 2014 510 put option for a $14 credit that will expire in 60 days. You are short the put option. The premium is a $14 credit. The strike price is $510. The 510 strike is the at-the-money strike. The at-the-money strike is the strike that is closest to the current market price of the underlying. The underlying is Google stock. One option contract is equal to 100 units of the underlying. The days to expiration are 60. The expiration month is December 2014. Question: what if the Google stock price increases to $590 at expiration? The buyer of the put option will not exercise the option. The buyer of the put option will not sell you 100 shares of Google for $510 per share if the current market value for Google is $590 per share. The option will expire worthless and you will make a maximum profit of $1,400. Here is how the profit is derived. $14, the credit received to sell the put, times 100 shares of Google would equal $1,400 in profit. The maximum profit for a short put is the credit times 100 units of the underlying. Question: what if the Google stock price increases to $590 at 39 days to expiration? The stock price has gone up $80. You check the market and buy back the put for a $4 debit. You make a profit of $1,000. Here is how the profit is derived. You subtract the $4 debit paid to buy back the put from the $14 credit received when you sold the put, which would equal $10. $10 times 100 shares of Google would equal a profit of $1,000. You do not make the maximum profit of $1,400, but you are out of the trade early and eliminate the risk of the position being exercised. Question: what if the Google stock price decreases to $470 at expiration? The put is $40 in the money. A put is in the money when the put strike price is greater than the current market price of the underlying. $510 is greater than $470. In the money for a put means that the buyer of the put is able to make money by selling the stock above the current market price. At my brokerage, if the put is even 1 penny in the money at expiration, which in this example would be a Google stock price of $509.99 or less, you will be assigned 100 shares of Google. If you do not want 100 shares of Google assigned to your account, then you need to buy back the put before expiration. And you should buy back the put before the Google stock price has such a significant decrease in price. You will lose $2,600. Here is how the loss is derived. You subtract the $470 current market price of Google from the $510 strike price. That would equal $40. $40 times 100 units of the underlying would equal $4,000. You then subtract the $1,400 credit that you received when you sold the put from the $4,000. That would give you a loss of $2,600. You have a loss, but not a maximum loss. The maximum loss in this example is $510,000. The lowest that the stock price can go is $0. Here is how the maximum loss is derived. $0, the lowest value of the underlying, subtracted from the $510 strike price would equal $510. $510 times 100 shares of Google would give you a maximum loss of $510,000. I do not trade short puts by themselves, but it is important to understand them. Later in my video series under the topic of credit spreads, you will learn how to remove the significant risk of a short put. Now let's take a look at the profit and loss chart for a short put. You will notice that it is the opposite shape of a long put profit and loss chart. On December 27, 2014, Google is trading at $530.88. You sell one contract of the February 2015 530 put for a $19.80 credit that will expire in 53 days. The red line is the profit and loss graph of the short put at expiration. For now, we are going to focus on the red line and ignore the white line. Here is the zero line. Any point above the zero line is profit, and any point below the zero line is loss. The dashed red line represents the price that the stock is currently trading at. In this case, it is $530.88. Here is the strike price. Here is the break-even point. The break-even for a short put is the point that the stock needs to be greater than in order for us to make money at expiration. The break-even for a short put is determined by subtracting the credit received from the strike price. In this case, a credit of $19.80 is subtracted from the 530 strike for a break-even of $510.20. We need the price of Google to be greater than $510.20 to make money at expiration. We want the price of the underlying to go up. The profit of a short put is limited to the credit received times 100 units of the underlying. In this case, the maximum profit is $1,980. $19.80, the credit received for selling the put, times 100 shares of Google would equal a maximum profit of $1,980. Short puts have significant risk with limited loss. The loss is limited to the stock price falling to zero. What if the price of Google ends up between the strike and break-even point? The seller of the short put will have a profit, but not a maximum profit. For example, if Google ends up at $520 at expiration, then you will have a profit of $980. Here is how the profit is derived. $510.20, the break-even point, will be subtracted from $520, the price of Google at expiration, which would equal $9.80. $9.80 times 100 shares of Google would equal a profit of $980. This graph represents the general profit and loss graph of short puts. Short puts have limited profit and limited risk. Now, let us talk about the white line. The white line is the profit and loss graph of the short Google put today. As each day goes by and we get closer to the expiration date, the white line gets closer to the red line. You will note that it takes longer to make a significant profit on the white line than the red line. This means that we make more money as time goes by. For example, if Google drops to $520 today, you would lose money. If Google drops to $520 at expiration, you will have a profit. Sellers of options make more money as time goes by. Let us review what we have learned in this video. Sellers of puts have the obligation to sell an underlying at an agreed upon price by a set date if the option is exercised. Sellers of puts want the price of the underlying to stay flat or go up. The seller of a put option is said to be short the put option. Short puts have limited profit and limited loss. That's it for this video. Please join me for my next video, video number 5, At the Money, In the Money, and Out of the Money. Thanks for joining me on my $1 million journey.